Hello, welcome to today's Knowledge webinar to discover the new feature of CYPE 2022. As you know, CYPE is a new product in the American market, is a well-established product pretty much everywhere else, and we're very proud to introduce it to you as Knowledge. And today you'll see CYPE's new feature, and one of them is, of course, the seamless communication with structural OpenBIM programs, and the addition of OpenBIM sites that helps you select the right location for your project, and much, much more. Today's webinar presenter, Afonso Solak, is a PhD candidate in civil engineering and a BIM enthusiast. And here's the knowledge page where you can find the entire array of CYPE solutions. Check us out at knowledge.com. Knowledge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, and faster service. And now, without further ado, I will share Alfonso's screen. Very excited about this new release. So tell us all about it, Alfonso. The stage is all yours.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much. If you please could confirm that you can see my screen at this moment.
Yes, we can.
All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for this introduction. As you said before, today we will be talking a little bit about our new features that were launched 2 months ago when we launched the 2022 version. Okay. We have new features at the CYPE system, the CYPE software itself, but we also have new features at the BIM Server Center platform. That is the platform that connects the softwares created by CYPE and other OpenBIM applications. So we'll try to show a little bit about both of them. Of course, that during just 1 hour, it's impossible to see everything about these features that we recently implemented. I'll try to show you the more relevant aspects of this new version. Okay, just showing a little bit here at our website, so you can search for site.com, and here you find all the most recent information that we have. And here in the download area, you can see that we are talking about the 2022B version. So from 3rd of July. It means that during this version, the version 2022, we already have 2 versions, the version A and the version B. And during a year, we usually publish 10 to 12 different updates, different releases. There are different letters identifying the versions, adding more features to our software. They are always included in the version that someone buy. So these updates, we can say they are for free. So during the year, we add more and more features to our software. Okay, here you can find more information detailed about every aspect of these new versions, displayed by version or per program. So CYPE have at this moment around 140 different apps, different applications, different OpenBIM applications that are integrated at BIM Server Center. And here you can find more information with details about these new features, and also download some of this software. Okay. To start with the main features that we implemented during this past 2 months, I would like to show you here at the store of BIM Server Center. When we create an account at BIM Server Center, we can see this dashboard, this menu, and we have this button here that is the catalog that we have here at BIM Server Center. And here we have different carousels, different different groups of applications. They are grouped by categories. Let's say that maybe that's the best word to describe that. And we have one that is specific. There are application groups. So we have groups inside of other groups. And here we have one group that is very important to us in this version, that is called the BIM Essentials by CYPE. Here we have 7 applications that were created, that were published during the past 2 or 3 years, that now are more integrated. Some of them are new in this version, the version 22. And we have been working a lot to connect these applications to our system, to the structural analysis software, to MEP softwares, to project management softwares, and with this essentials, or this BIM essentials, we can create our architectural model and then add more and more information that are related to the analytical models, to construction systems, to run clash detection analysis, to generate drawings from this architectural model, view of quantities, and in this case, the site or the topography of our building. Okay, so I would like to introduce this kind of suite that we have here. That's this group of software. You can download it directly from here. Some of them are for free, some of them are paid. Okay, for example, CYPE Architecture, that is the core of this system, is for free. You don't have to pay to use this application to generate an analytical model. For example, to run an analysis with Energy Plus, for example, or maybe to analyze the acoustics of your building. You also don't have to pay for that. And then we have some software like this one, for example, to calculate your view of quantities. We have a specific software with a specific price in this case. Okay, I think the best way to show the new features and how we are integrating these softwares is by showing an example. So I have been preparing these examples here using some of this software. For example, here I have a little building. So this is the interface of CYPE Architecture in the version 2022B. CYPE Architecture, it's very easy to use. We have here 3 tabs: Sketch, Architecture, and Furniture. So you can use the software in a first moment to think about your building, to study the geometry of your building, the morphology of your building, just using lines and surfaces, just drawing tools. Very, very simple. But it's very simple because in the first moment of the project, we need tools that are simple to use, because we usually don't have too many information in the first moment of the project. So you can do that with lines and circles and polygons. And then when you decide the geometry that you have, the uses of your building, you can jump from the Sketch to the Architecture tab. And here you can transform everything that was created here in the Sketch tab to construction elements, to walls, windows, different kind of surfaces that are made by different materials, roofs, stairs, ramps, columns, beams, construction elements that in the future will be transformed again in IFC entities that will be used to connect with other applications, to calculate the structure, to generate the view of quantities, to extract the drawings, and so on. Okay, this is CYPE Architecture. We had some presentations in the past talking a little bit more about this software. You can also find more information about CYPE Architecture at CYPE's YouTube channel. Just type in CYPE Architecture on YouTube. You'll find a lot of content also in English. Okay, and here at CYPE Architecture, one of the new features that we have that are part of this integration of the between softwares and in this integration of the softwares with the platform is this BIM Server Center menu that we have here. So here you can see that we have the usual buttons of update and export files that are present in every software of CYPE. So with these buttons, we can send information to the cloud and then receive information, feedback our models, updating the information with this button here. But from the version 2022, we got more buttons here. So we have more, our team of buttons is a little bit larger. So here we have options to connect with the application that will be used to generate the drawings, to connect with CYPE Urban to analyze the situation of the building inside of the city, let's say that, to describe the construction systems, to include electrical mechanisms, to create a model and then run an analysis, a structural analysis, view of quantities, And everything is related with my profile in this case, because when we started working with CYPE Architecture, it was necessary to add our login and our password, and now I'm linked to the cloud. And if I use these buttons now, I will be connecting this project, this architectural model, with other disciplines of the project using my account, and that then could be shared with other colleagues, with part of my team, inviting these people to my project, and then they will be using their profiles. Okay, so it's a kind of personal bar that we have here inside of CYPE Architecture. So this is one of the new features that we have. I will show you an example in a few minutes, exporting this architectural model to Cyclonic, for example, using this button, we'll see. But first, I would like to show you some other features that were included here at CYPE Architecture. Maybe in the past, you have been trying the application, but here you find some new features that are very interesting. And I would like to start by showing this button here, the typology button. Okay, typologies, we have a kind of library of typologies that were recently created. And here you can define the type of walls, curtain walls, slabs, railings, columns, windows, spaces, for example. You can create the type of the typologies that you will need in your project. And once you create these typologies, for example, let's suppose we create this window here with this reference, this window shape, these properties. Once you introduce this type in your project, let's suppose we introduce this window a lot of times in different places of our model. And if we need to change one of these properties, let's suppose the color or the width, you just have to come back here to this tab, this typology library, change the parameter that you want, and everything will be updated according to this typology. So you can link this typology with the elements that you have in your project. That will be much more easier to work. So here you have, if you work thinking on it, it's going to be much easier to update the information. And in the future, when we export this IFC to other softwares, this information will be grouped. For example, to extract the quantities or to count how many windows we have in the project at OpenBing quantities, we can count according to these groups. It's going to be more easy to find the information because the information will be organized. Okay, it applies to everything in your project, from structural elements like columns and beams to details like reeds and valleys. So here we have also to the lifts, different typologies. Okay, just showing here one example. Here I have a list of walls. So we have a specific code. In this case, EF means external facade with 15 centimeters. So here I have a specific code to that. And if we open one of them, for example, this one, EF25C2, we can see that the color here is color a kind of white or gray. And here in the first one, here it's also white or gray. Maybe in this one here, we have the black color, for example. And if we change, for example, for another color that was created before, let's suppose this color here, and accept, when we accept, everything in the project, inside of this project, will be updating according to this change. Okay, that could be any other property that we have in the project. More features that were included here at CYPE Architecture are interesting. We add more resources related to the gardening section. So we have more trees here with better quality. The transparencies here are much better than in the previous versions. So we are working a lot to increase the number of items in these libraries of furniture, sanitary appliances, gardening, home appliances. So in each version we have more and more elements here. So in this version we add some green stuff, let's say that, into our projects with a better resolution, let's say that. And also here we have a little change that the swimming pools were inside of the architecture tab in the first versions, and now we have the swimming pools here in the furniture or in the gardening section. So it was just moved from one tab to another, but we still have the swimming pools at CYPE Architecture. Okay. Another feature that is very interesting is this one here, the tags option. With the tags options, we can create groups of tags to add more information to our model. So we could create, for example, one tag to classify the spaces of our building in places that will have air conditioning or not have air conditioning, for example. So we can create a specific group of tags with this kind of information that we want to include, and then in every element of our building we can add these tags and classify our elements, and this information could be visualized or received by other applications. For example, let's suppose we have structural columns and non-structural columns. For example, let's imagine that we have a specific part of our project that is not included in the analysis, that will not be included in the analysis. We can use these tags to identify which columns will be included in the analysis and which columns will not be included in that analysis. So that's very, very interesting and very useful. Okay, you can add a comment or a word or a code, whatever it's better to your model. Okay. Before we start doing the example with Sitecat, I would like to introduce you one software that I think it's one step before then the CYPE Architecture step. What I mean is, first we have to have a site, a place to our building, and then we'll develop our building. And in this case, I started showing the building by this building is floating in this white space here, and we don't see the site, we don't see the topography. So I think that we are missing one step. And to do that, we must present OpenBing Site. That is one of the new apps that we have now in this version. OpenBing Site is this application here. I already have it installed on my computer. The interface is pretty similar to other interfaces of other softwares that we have at CYPE. So we always have this views section here where we can create different 3D views, floor plan views, elevation sections. And here we have a kind of layers system with 5 types of layers. So the reference system of the site, the maps, topography surfaces, plots and buildings. So these are the elements that we can introduce into our project using OpenBing Site. Okay, and as you can see here, OpenBing Site also have this Bing Server Center bar or this Bing Server Center menu. The difference here is that we just have one software that is related to OpenBing Site. That is the next step. So if we start adding the topography here at OpenBing Site, probably the next step is connect with CYPE Architecture and define the architectural model and develop the architectural model. And once we are here at CYPE Architecture, the next step would be the structural analysis, the view of quantities, the construction systems, and so on. You can imagine that every application of this list will have the same system to other applications that will be related. That will be the next step for that application in the future. So with this system, we are integrating and defining a kind of path to our users to follow and develop a project. Okay. Coming back here to OpenBing Site. Okay, I will just start a new file here just to show everything about this software. So I'll create a new example. For example, today is 22/9/21. For example, I'll create this new file, and this is my credentials. I'm connected as Afonso at Bing Server Center platform, and I'll create a new project. So new example, and today is 22/9/21. Okay, it's a project, a simple project. It's gonna be not visible at the platform. It's also closed. I would like to work alone. I will not invite anyone of my contacts to work with me. So it's closed and with no description at this moment. It's just an example. Let's accept. And here we have this panel that's common to our softwares. So this panel shows us that we are linked to this project now. We are creating a new file at OpenBing Site, but at the same time, a new project at the Bing Server Center platform. And this project have this name. And the software is asking us if we would like to import IFC files to OpenBing Site, but the list is empty because we are just starting this project. So this list is now empty. But in the future, if we update the project, we can see more files here, and then we can decide if you want to import or not the IFC files to OpenBIM Site. Okay. We can also see here this button here. That's the place where we'll define the geographic location and reference system that we can import from one IFC. So if we have IFCs in our software that are already located, that already have geographical information, we can manage that information and import that information using this button here. We'll see some examples in some minutes. So let's accept this window, and we have the OpenBing Site in an empty window. Here you can see that our reference, our origin, it's marked here. We can see there is a little arrow indicating this big arrow that is in the same direction that the green X. It's the north of our project, so the north direction. And we can see that we have here two little numbers in blue color, identifying that the coordinates of this project, the initial coordinate of this project is located on this latitude and longitude. It's 0 because we didn't add this information yet. Okay, so here the first thing that we should do is to define this information. So the latitude, the longitude, the altitude, the north of our project. Then we can use the UTM systems to define X, Y, and Z, and also define an angle if it's necessary. We can also add the address, town, region, postcode, and country of our project. Okay, so here I have one example that I got from just looking here at the Google Maps with some specific latitude and longitude numbers here. Okay, so I have these files here. So I can copy this information here at OpenBing Site and define, for example, I think it's going to be here in UTM, X and Y. Okay, let's try it. Here, oh, sorry, it's going to be this number here. Of course, we have to know this information before and accept. And you can see here that now that the project is located in these coordinates. Okay, so here we have this. We can do the same thing with latitude, longitude, altitude, north, and the other information. Okay, then the next step is to, for example, download a specific map from this location. So I can create a new map here. Now we have different databases. So some databases that were included in this first version are related to the Spanish maps and Portuguese maps. So we are working to increase these databases in the next versions. So we are working a lot to import this information. And here we will find different type of information. For example, here in this specific database, we can find the ortho images of Spain. So we can download the information from this base. And here, this information is the same information that was included before when we defined the coordinates of the project. We can define the size of these maps. For example, let's suppose we have a map that is 150 per 150, a kind of square map. The format, PNG, JPEG, the scale, the resolution. And if the database includes plots and buildings, we can also import these plots and buildings if the database have this kind of data. So by accepting, we can see it was impossible to download with this resolution. So we can increase the scale, for example, to have a better resolution. And let's see the results that we have here. Yeah, here we can see we have a piece, a part of our Google Maps or ortho images in this case. We can accept. First, we have to add a reference. Let's suppose these are our maps, for example. Let's accept. And we have this map here, but not just the map. Here you can see that all the plots that are marked in blue color and the buildings that are in gray color, they were also imported because they are touching this map. We have this we don't have the map in a size that covers everything that is related to these plots and buildings, but part of the plots are touching the section that we choose. So we downloaded this information. Now you can imagine that we can place our building in one of these plots, and it's the first step to start analyzing the impact of this building in this part of the city. Okay, so this is a first step to one urban analysis related to this building. Okay, there are more information that we can add here. We can edit this information, so everything that is here now, it's we can delete, we can edit, we can change. So we can enter here, we can see the parameters that are included in this building. So the number of floors above ground, the height below ground. Okay, we can add more properties if we want completing this model. We can see the height of this building. So this building here, for example, it's 9 meters high with three floors above ground. Okay, so information that could be used for in some moments of our project. We can change the color of these elements. Okay, and then we can also create. We can create a building. We can draw these buildings and add information, manually add this information. In this case, we downloaded the information, but we can add. The topographic surfaces are pretty similar. We have here a list of surfaces that we can download. Here we have two options. We can download the topography from one database, or we can import a point file. Let's do both things. So let's try both options. By downloading here, we just have to set the parameters here and press accept, and then we will download the topography. Let's see the results in this case. Let's say that this is the download one, for example, downloads. Okay, so here we have the topography, and then is the topography here together in our model. Okay, and there's another option that is importing this file, that we can generate this file in a TXT file. Okay, so I have here maybe one example. Let me see. Terrain. So these files, they are easily generated by different kind of applications, different type of equipment, topographic equipment, drones, different types of cameras that can generate these files that simulate or that get the data from the terrain. So it's a kind of table with, in this case, with 40 per 40 columns and 40 rows with a specific coordinates and cell size, and every number of these numbers in the table are one of the cells or the altitude of the cells. When we import this file, we have the terrain also here inside of the software. We can change the color, I don't know, to another green color. Okay, so you can import the terrain from your project and transform it in a IFC file. In this case, the entity that is related to to topography in the IFC standard. Okay, and if we accept, again, we have to add a name, import it or import for it. Okay, let's accept. Now we have both of them in the same place, so we can see just one of them, but we have these options. Okay, once we finish that, we can add our architectural model by clicking here and synchronizing it with our model. Okay, we can also update here and change the project, for example, and select a new one that was created before. Let's suppose we have a new one here, for example, intro OpenBing. It's a project, the building that we saw before. So we can connect this building, this terrain with that building, importing one or more files. Let's suppose we will import the CYPE Architecture file, and let's accept. And then we'll be able to see this building integrated in that topography. Okay, we will do that. Let's waiting it. We are obtaining the data, downloading this information from Bing Server Center, and now we are importing the BIM models to OpenBIM Site. Let's wait. I think it imported. It's finished. Okay, let's come back here to our 3D file, and here we can activate the visibility of our building. Where is our building here? We probably have it. Let me see. We probably have a specific geographic information related to this file. So now our building is not in the same place, but we can change that using this button here. Let's see. Here we can select the reference system. So the CYPE Architecture reference system. Let's accept. While this is loading, I would like just to show you here one interesting option that we have here. When we add this information using OpenBing Site, this coordinates information using OpenBing Site. Once we upload the files using the Bing Server Center synchronizer, okay, this information will navigate to our in our project, will be sent to our project, and we can locate the projects using this button here, the Maps button that is on the platform. So if your project it's visible on the platform, it's visible to other contacts in the platform, and have a file, an IFC file with geographic coordinates that could be generated with OpenBing Site, but also with other applications like Archicad or Revit or Upland. You can see these projects here in the map, the projects that are in the platform. So, for example, just showing here, I don't know, one project that we have been working some weeks ago in Bogota in Colombia. If it was one campus in one specific university, let me see if it was here or it was somewhere, or let me see, maybe here. No, it's not here. Okay, I don't remember, but they are all the same here. For example, this project here. Someone uploaded this IFC to Bing Server Center. The project is open, and this file have geographic coordinates. So it's available here in the map, and we can see the project here at the platform. Okay. All right, so that's OpenBing Site. I know that is a lot of information to see in just some minutes, but here we have this new project that CYPE is developing. We are increasing the number of databases that are available. So during the next updates, we have more and more data like that to different countries. Okay, but you can also import your topography surfaces using TXT files. Okay, and then create plots, buildings, and send it to your BIM model. Coming back to CYPE Architecture, let's connect this this model with Sitecat, for example. So I'll just click here on structural analysis. I already have Sitecat installed on my computer. So when we click on that button, here we have a little description about Sitecat. If you don't know about this software, Sitecat is our software to design and analyze reinforced concrete structures, also steel structures and wood structures that are made by frames, let's say that. So this is our maybe one of the most popular softwares that we have. Here, what we'll do is define a specific place to save a new file that will be automatically created. So one file with the Sidecad natives format. Okay, this is the file place, the place of the file. Then we add a name to this file that we are creating. So architectural model, for example, or architectural model example, we can create the name we want and a description. And then CYPE Architecture will start exporting the IFC or transforming the native entities that we have at CYPE Architecture to IFC entities, generating this architectural model, this OpenBing architectural model. And then we also include other files if we have. For example, the information that was created with the sketch tab will be exported using the GLTF format. So we can see this information then, for example, in our mobile phone, in our augmented reality app, or maybe in other software. If you were the case, if we had a report in this project, in this case we don't have, but if we had in this moment, the application will generate these reports and export the PDFs with view of quantities or any kind of report related to the design or analysis of a specific discipline. And then once this IFC is generated, the program will run Sitecad and then import all this information to the second software. Okay, so that's what this one button or this one click do. By clicking here, we are saving a lot of steps because the system is connecting two applications and sending just that information that is useful to the next application. Okay, not everything will be necessary to Sitecad, but that information that is necessary, we are in this process of import and export. Okay. Let's wait a little bit here just to finish this process. Just showing here some examples that were developed with CYPE Architecture and other applications. So in this case here, we have some buildings that were created with OpenBIM Site. The building itself, the building created with CYPE Architecture. But if we deactivate some of these elements that are blocked, let's unblock they are locked here. Let's unlock these layers. We can see that we have more installations, the plumbing facilities, the solar panels. So we have different layers of information behind the architectural model. I probably have too many models in my computer at this moment, so everything is a little bit slow. Too many examples that are open. Yeah, I have too many information here. So here at Sitecat, we can now create our structural model. Okay, so by creating a new project, I already have this model, importing the BIM model, and selecting the same project that we created before. Okay, so here, let's see the name of the project that we created. So the project was this one here. So now I can go there and select the same project. And then import the architectural model example that was created. Cyclonic will read this IFC file. Just showing here the other disciplines that are under our architecture. So it's furniture, radiant floor. We have here all the plumbing facilities, the air conditioning ventilation system, HVAC. So we have also the spaces here. It's a pretty complete model. Here, coming back to Sitecat. So once the IFC file of our architectural model was read, we now can select the information that is important to us to calculate the structural model, to generate the structural model. The first one is we'll import the architectural model, but if we have more files, we can also import these other files because maybe they can be interesting for us. Let's suppose we have the plumbing facilities. Maybe it's important to know where are those pipes, because during the project, we have to consider the place of these pipes or the size of these pipes or the ducts, the HVAC ducts that are a little bit bigger than the plumbing pipes. They can be relevant to us during the structural analysis. So we can combine these IFC files and see everything together. Then we can import the levels. Okay, so if we come back here to CYPE Architecture, let's come back here to CYPE Architecture. So here in the Architecture tab, we have the levels. So we can create levels here. And if our model have the levels, we don't have to introduce it again at Sitecat. So this information is important. And we can also apply an elevation difference here. Let's suppose these levels that were defined introduced at CYPE Architecture are the architecture or the finished levels, let's say that, and then to the structural model we must apply 5 centimeters or 10 centimeters or 3 centimeters of difference in each level to introduce the structure. We can do that by using this column here, the elevation difference. We can also decide which level we want to import. If we check with the green mark, this level will be imported. If we use the red mark, it means that will not be imported to our analysis. In the next step, we can import the columns. So in our architectural model, we have we have one type of columns, but different elements. And these elements, they have the same description, they are the same type. This is the code, and we can assign one cross section. Now talking about structural information. So first we had these columns at CYPE Architecture that were just a rectangular column with a color and a specific size. Here we can add more information. So we can describe a little bit more, defining if it's a reinforced concrete section or a specific steel section or wood section. We can also change the section if it's necessary, mixed materials, and also here we can design our section or our own generic section to consider that on our analysis. Okay. We can also use the references that were defined in the BIM model. Let's suppose we add some specific names to these columns in our BIM model, so we can use the same references using this selection here, references according to the BIM model, or generate a new reference system, or new references according to the automatic system that we have at Sitecat. And to the columns, those columns that are in the lowest level, level -1 in this case, we can define if they are with external fixity or without external fixity. This is used to when we have foundations or not. Let's suppose this part of the structure is fixed to another structure, so we can set this kind of properties here by defining if it's with or without external fixity. In the next window, we can import the beams. It's the same situation that we have to the columns. In this project, we have beams with this type and this section here. Okay, we can also import or not. And in the next window, we can import the outlines of these slabs. So we can import or not import the outline of these slabs to Cyclonic. And the last window are the walls and partitions. This information will be imported and transformed into loads. In this case, we will generate the linear loads that are related to these elements. Depending on the criteria that we will use in our structural analysis, we import or not, depending on the type of structure and criteria that will be used, we can import or not. And here at Cyclonic, we will add more information to these walls, defining the weight, the seismic properties, other properties that are related to structural analysis. Once we select the information that we want to import to Cyclonic, we just have to accept. And then we will start working with Cyclonic, defining information that is usually defined here. First, the problem tells us if we have problems with floors, columns, how many of them were imported. And then we start defining selecting the code that we want to work. In this case, we have here different codes, okay? Then we can define the concrete, steel, sections, loads, everything that is related to our structural analysis. Limit states, for example. Here we can see that the levels were imported. So here we can define now the loads here, okay? Live loads and dead loads. We can also edit the construction process for each part of each level of our building. And the software asks us if we'd like to check the materials that were imported. So in this case, we imported different walls, and these walls, they are not checked yet. So we can open each one of them and then define if they are related or not with the seismic analysis, defining different parameters that are necessary to this type of analysis, or transform it on surface loads, defining a specific number for that, or using this little blue key that we have here that we can select different construction elements. And once we select here the materials, it's a little library that we have here, we can import this information, and it's going to be changed, automatically changed here. Okay, so we have to do to all of them. We have to check and define the surface load to every wall in this case. Okay. And then we have here our columns in the place, in this case, in all the levels that we have. And we can also now keep doing our model, defining more beams if it's necessary, adding more, defining the slabs, the information that is very specific to the project, the structural analysis. So if it's a composite slab or the waffle slab or hollow core slabs, we have here different elements. Once we design our structure, we can also connect this new layer of information, so this new IFC that's going to be related to the structural model, and expose information to BIM Service Center. And by using the update button that we have here, we can import the IFC again in CYPE Architecture. And this cycle can be done a lot of times for different disciplines of the project, but always using these buttons here, and with the difference that could be with another colleague that's in another computer in another place, because this information is during the process, we synchronize this information with the cloud server using the BIM Server Center synchronizer. Okay. The same situation that we have here at CYPE Architecture that we made with Sitecat, sorry, we can do, for example, with OpenBing layout to generate our drawings. So it's the same process. By clicking here, we will open OpenBing layout, send this information to OpenBing layout, and then we can create the drawings there. And the same to OpenBing quantities here with view of quantities. One last thing that I would like to show to you that is a new feature that was included in other applications is this little button here. Okay, this clip volume button. It's very useful. Let me reset the model here. So with this button, we can we have more options to visualize our model. So when we click, we select a specific point to locate this system here. That is, we have 3 axes here: the blue X, the red, and green. Okay, they are in the same direction of the original axis here. And then we can, for example, we can use the arrow to cut part of our building in one of these axes. For example, I suppose here, and we can combine the 6 options that we have here. And if we use this little arc that we have here, we can rotate these sections. Okay, so that can be useful to visualize something inside of our model. Or if we're talking about drawing compositions, we can save this information. We can deactivate these big arrows and see just the model, and that can be included in a drawing to generate a detail or add more information related to the project. So this was included in all the software that we have. When we have a 3D geometry, we have this button. So it's one of the new features of our new version. Okay. Yeah, I think that were the main features that we have that we can show during this presentation. We are working a lot to add more codes and more materials to Cyclonic Steel. Cyclonic Steel is our software to calculate connections that are usually made on steel structures. So yeah, here it's Cyclonic Steel, this software here. Okay, with this software we can import the structures that are calculated with Cycad or Cype 3D, imports the forces and the geometry from those softwares, introduce the elements that are necessary to create these connections, and then we can analyze it using the OpenSys engine. So OpenSys, it's an engine very famous that was developed by the Berkeley, California University. So it's the OpenSys engine is inside of Cyclonic. We can use our BIM models, our structural BIM models, to calculate these connections using the OpenSys engine. So it's a very powerful tool. And during this second semester of the year, we are working to include more and more types of steel, more and more types of sections, and more codes in this project. So it's a software that is that have a lot of updates. So still, I suggest you to follow us on our social media, because we are doing a lot of webinars related with this software. Okay. I think that is it. In my part, I don't know if you have any question, if you have any doubt. I think you have some minutes to open a Q&A session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alfonso. While we wait for potential questions, I will show everybody where they can find the Site solution on our catalog. It's noveg.com. And also want to remind everybody that they can always ask us for a trial, and just email barbara@noveg.com and I will hook you up. This was a packed webinar, Alfonso. You did a great job. I don't think we have any question, but again, you can always contact us at Noveg. Our phone number is on every page of our website, and you can email us, and we have all the information for you. This is the first time we see the 2022 in action, and I'm reminding you that CYPE is a new product for the American market, so I think you should really take a look at it and test it out. So thanks again for joining us today, and thank you, Alfonso. And you know where to find us, noveg.com. And looking forward to another webinar with you guys and the CYPE team. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.